podcasting about sneakers. Today's episode, we're talking about the patent leather Adidas Forums, baby. Straight from the 1980s, they have been re-retroed. This is nostalgic for me. I'll see you after the break. Adidas Forum was designed by Jacques Chassin in France in 1983. He wanted to create a sneaker that will favor the team with diversity of athletes in mind and their roles on athletic characteristics. After talking with players and coaches, he located the weak point in the ankle. He visualized bands used by psychotherapists which will stabilize the ankle, and consequently, this birthed the crisscross ankle system. Now it's time to analyze the Adidas patent leather Forum. One thing about the Adidas Forum, a little known fact, it's the very first sneaker that retailed over $100. That's significant considering it came out in the mid 80s. All right, let's analyze the Adidas Forum. Strap right here, Adidas embedded in the strap right here. Let's go ahead and loosen the strap. And let's take a look at the tongue in the throat. Old school Adidas trefoil, right at the tongue, down the throat. Traditional Adidas tongue with the old school pattern, right? Let's go ahead and traverse down to the ankle. This is where I was talking about in the intro, that stabilizer. Look at that Adidas logo, the trefoil embedded right on the ankle bone, baby. Right on the ankle bone. And it looks like an X. Turn this joker around. You got the Dillinger web right here. As a child, as a teenager, I love to see that Dillinger web. It just says something. It just defined 80s basketball with the web right here. Bottom of the Adidas Forum, atypical of the Adidas soles back in the day. Just classic, man. Classic Adidas. And you see the Adidas trefoil embedded at the bottom, right? Look at that. Traditional toe box. Look at that toe box right there, man. That's classic 1980s, baby. The Adidas stripes right here, the 3 stripes with the jagged edges at the end with the holes right here. Air holes, baby, so your feet can breathe, side of your foot can breathe, side of your foot can breathe. 80s era basketball, retro. The Adidas Forum, baby. There's so many things about this shoe that I love. The Adidas embedded on the sole right here. This material right here that stabilized the foot, kept the foot in place. High top, so the guys back in the day wasn't breaking their ankles or tearing up their ankles. Back in the day, we used to let our strap. A lot of cats used to let their straps hang, right? They'd do it like this, wear the jeans. The beautiful thing about this shoe, it was crafted, it was shaped with the basketball player in mind, the athlete in mind. Because if you think about this strap, how it crosses over to the ankle, stabilizes the ankle, stabilizes the heel, stabilizes the foot. Classic regular Adidas, no speed lacing or nothing crazy, just simple holes, put the strings through the holes. Classic Adidas, man. Patent leather. Love it, love it, love it. Back in the day, they used to play basketball in the Adidas Forum. And the funny thing about it, your favorite basketball player, looking at these photos, guess who used to wear Adidas Forum, ladies and gentlemen? This is before the Nike days. This was in between when he was in North Carolina wearing Converse. And in between that, Michael Jordan was wearing Adidas Forums, white and blue. But let's get back to this Adidas Forum right here. So many memories, but before I get into nostalgic memories, let's go ahead and rate the Adidas Forum. How do I feel about the Adidas Forum? And I'm a little biased because it's my favorite shoe of all time. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. Since I start rating these shoes, started at 10. What would I, as a fan of the Adidas Forum, what would I honestly rate the Adidas Forum out of 10? Let's see. Style, comfort, history, the way the shoe looked, memories. 10 out of 10. I can't lie to you. I can't tell you this shoe it's a 7 out of 10. I can't tell you it's a 9 out of 10. I can't even tell you it's a 4 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the Adidas Forum, it's 100 out of 10 for me. I ain't talking about the Forum lows or the Forum mids. I'm talking about the Forum highs. This represents the 80s. This represents the early 90s. Speaking of that, perfect segue. Let's roll into nostalgic memories. Now, when I think about the Adidas Forum, I have so many pair of these Adidas Forums, right? Many colors. But the one thing about the Adidas Forum, this shoe is the reason why I wanted to have a job as a teenager. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I want a job to save up for a coat, save up for a car. Nah, I wanted a pair of Adidas Forums because in the late 80s, early 90s in Detroit, they was wearing top 10s, of course, the Nikes, the Jordans, but cats were wearing the Adidas Forum. They were. I can take you back to that time. We were wearing the Adidas Forum, and I wanted a pair of red Forums just like this without the patent leather. So I was in Detroit. So I went to Perry Drugs on Livernois, which is no longer in business. I went to daggone Wendy's. I went to McDonald's. I went to all these places, the local grocery stores, trying to get a job. I want a job. You guys don't understand why I want a job, because I want to buy some Adidas Forums. I got turned down left and right. We ain't hiring. Go away. We ain't hiring. So I ended up working at White Castle. Worked there for 2 years. Let me tell you, I didn't want a job for responsibility. I didn't want a job to be mature. I didn't want a job to save money. I was 17 years old. I wanted a pair of Adidas Forums. And let me tell you, when I got my first paycheck at White Castle, trust and believe, guess what the kid did? I went and got a pair of Adidas Forums, baby. But there was the green ones. But still, that is the reason why. This shoe is the reason why I wanted a job. It wasn't because of these other things I outlined. Responsibility, all that, nope. Don't care about it. I want to wear Adidas Forums. It is the reason why I want a job, and I end up getting them. So that's my nostalgic memory. All the OGs from back in the day, the late 80s, the 80s, early 90s, was wearing the Forums. Still a popular shoe. They've come out with so many colors and kind of these weird colors associated with them. I like the traditional old school colors, man. But the Adidas Forum, baby. 1983, 84, the 90s, the 80s. Old school, baby. Old school. Love it. Type in the comments if you have any memories about the Adidas Forum. I am definitely interested to hear if some of your uncles wore them, your granddaddies, your fathers, your friends or whatever. Are you still wearing them? Are you a fan of the Forums? Now remember, it's a difference between the low tops, the mids, and the highs. I am a high top Adidas Forums guy. I don't like the mids, never like the lows. High top Adidas Forums, that's me. I appreciate each and every one of you for sitting down and watching, whether it's on a TV, on the computer, on the phone, watching this latest episode of the Nomad Cast. Until we meet again, see you when I see you. The Nomad Cast, because every shoe has a story, and these jokers definitely got a story. The Adidas Forums, baby.